Alright, so one thing I want to talk about today is a question that I get asked an awful lot these days. And that is, since I've owned both Supercharged Mustang and Supercharged Camaro, which one's better? Answer that, and before whichever side I answer is better or worse gets upset, just remember that I'm a non-biased car, I'm a car enthusiast. Now the Mustang and the Camaro that I'm comparing the setup that I had. So it was the 2015 Mustang 5.0, so it was the previous generation 5.0, 6-speed manual, and the 6th gen Camaro. I have the 1LE, but the 6th gen Camaro 6.2 liter with a 6-speed manual. It actually kind of works out because the price that I paid for the Whipple Supercharger and the price that I paid for the Paxton Supercharger that I had on my Mustang was almost exactly the same. So my decision on which one is better is based off of what I spent and what I got. So first off, with the Mustang, for those who don't know, I had a 2015 Mustang 5.0 with a Paxton Supercharger on it. And what I would say is, I think because the Mustang market is saturated with so much aftermarket vendors and stuff, so many aftermarket vendors, that the prices are able to be a lot more competitive. So for the $6,000 that I spent for my Paxton Supercharger, I actually got a lot for it. What I got was the Paxton Supercharger itself. I got a tune from Lund Racing that was included in it. I also got a second pulley, which was a smaller pulley for the Supercharger, bigger injectors, and then the whole kit itself, obviously. So that Supercharger, the Paxton Supercharger on the Mustang I put down 674 horsepower to the tire. The car absolutely flew. I mean, it was a 10-second car. I ran a like 1087 at 132 miles an hour in that car. The only downside is that I actually had an engine failure in that car, which cost me a lot more money, and I wasn't too happy about it. But there's guys within that Mustang 5.0 world that live off the power level I was at and much more on the stock motor, so there's that. Now with the Camaro, the same $6,000 got me the Whipple Supercharger, but no fueling upgrades, no pulley upgrades, basically just the Whipple Supercharger kit and everything that comes with it, plus the tune. And I made, it was about 560, a little less than 560 to the tire, 560 wheel horsepower. So now, what I'll say is, bang for the buck, Mustang is, in my opinion, the Mustang beats the Camaro as far as the horsepower war, with just buying a Mustang or a Camaro and slapping a Supercharger on them. And I'm going to say that solely because of how saturated the market is for Mustang, that they're able to kind of, keep the price a little lower. Because honestly, the kit entailed much more for the Mustang. To put a Supercharger on the Mustang, it was a lot more vacuum lines. It took me longer. There was a lot more to that Paxton Supercharger kit, but I still paid about the same amount of money. Whereas the Whipple was a very simple install. Granted, it had some other, granted it had its own like hoses and stuff to do, but for them to both to be the same price, and then for the Mustang I was able to get injectors on top of it, which is what allowed that motor to make 100 or so more horsepower. That's why I would have to say that if your plan is just to buy a car, slap a power adder onto it, I mean, the Mustang is probably the way to go if you just want to make power. Most guys make over 600 horsepower with the kits because a lot of them include those aftermarket injectors, the bigger injectors, which allow you to run more fuel, and then more fuel, more air, obviously more power. Now there was a comment somebody made the other day that said the Camaro just can't compete with a boosted Coyote. I mean, we're still in the stock fuel system here. Once we start doing fuel system upgrades plus actual engine upgrades, heads, cam, so on and so forth, headers, I mean, if you think that this car can't compete with a boosted Coyote, you're sorely mistaken, to be honest. There's a lot of guys with naturally aspirated Camaros that can run easily with a boosted Coyote. So to say, you know, one car can't run with the other when there's forced induction added to it, I think that's kind of an ignorant thing to say, because I mean, it's all going to be on the builder. How far are you going to take it? You know, pick your poison. You can build one of these Camaros, especially with the 8-speed auto, to run a ridiculous time, and the same thing with the Mustang, especially with the new 8-speed or 10-speed auto. Sorry. So as I said, if you're gonna just buy a car and you just want to slap a supercharger on it and live with what it has, Mustang's probably the way to go. Having said that, I would still rather take this Camaro SS 1LE any day over the Mustang that I had, even with, you know, the extra 125 horsepower that my Paxton Supercharged Mustang had. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. I had a chance to go out to a pretty cool car meet today. It was actually a car show, first time I've ever entered in a show. I didn't win, but it was pretty fun. I met a lot of good guys, saw a lot of beautiful cars out there. Actually, the winner of the show was a turbocharged Mustang. It was a 3-valve Mustang too. But yeah, had a lot of fun. It was a good time. Met a lot of cool people. And if you guys are new to the channel, I got a whole bunch of new subscribers this past week or so. I really appreciate it. I'm really trying hard to put out quality content for you guys, or at least something that'll interest you. Be on the lookout for more videos. You know, I have a lot of stuff just in my head, just lined up. I have some parts coming also, which are going to be going on the car, so I'll obviously be videos of that. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I do post on Instagram some of the smaller stuff, like I was throwing stuff on about the car show today. I'll go ahead and link that in the description. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe. I try and put out as much as I can. Be sure to like the video, it helps out the channel, and I look forward to making the next one for you guys. Take care guys, we'll see you next time.